It's been 7 days and I still can't beat that E-Honda guy. I'm down to my last can of beans. And it's hard to get better when your only training partner is a deck box. I mean, what does that E-Honda guy even have that I don't, aside from a better skincare routine and an 800-handed slap and probably a whole bunch of other stuff? You know what? Maybe the world didn't end. Maybe we're all fine. I've got to get out of here once and for all. I've got to get out of here. Great. So not only did the world not end, I just spent the last week losing to some guy in a towel. Well, if E-Honda can do it, so can I. I'm going to become the greatest Street Fighter 2 player and the greatest Commander deck builder in the world. And if we're going to beat E-Honda at his own game, we're going to have to do some in-depth research. And I'm not just talking mashing buttons. We're going to have to really look into this. So why don't we start with his card? E-Honda Sumo Champion is a 0/7 legendary human warrior for 6 mana. First up, if it's your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. If E-Honda's our only creature, he's hitting for 7 instead of 0. That's one very angry wall. And then this, whenever E-Honda attacks, up to 100 target creatures each get +0/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So the strategy is simple. Pack in a bunch of creatures with high toughness, keep a big hand, and swing like a truck. Now, unlike a commander such as Arcades, the strategist, E-Honda doesn't let defenders attack, so we're looking for creatures that have big toughness and are combat ready. Creatures like Armored Armadillo, Daxos Blessed by the Sun, Indomitable Ancients, Nyxphlees Ram, and Prava of the Steel Legion all have way more toughness than power, making them perfect early game blockers and late game heavy hitters once E-Honda shows up. But E-Honda's real secret isn't in defense, it's in card draw. If you treat him like a Craterhoof or a Moonshaker Cavalry, the moment he hits the board and attacks, your whole team is now swinging for lethal. With just 3 cards in hand, everything will get +0/+3, and because they're hitting with their toughness, well, that's quite a lot of damage. But we're not going to stop at what is effectively an overcosted overrun. We need to find a way to get a whole bunch of cards in our hand for a whole bunch of damage. And with White's complicated relationship with card draw, that could be a problem. Luckily, I've got my secret weapon, cardmystic.io, the Magic the Gathering search engine powered by AI models that'll find you gems for your deck in seconds. If we're going to take down E-Honda, or at least borrow some of his moves, we're going to need card draw. And mono-white card draw isn't exactly common. But with Card Mystic, all I have to do is search mono-white card draw, and boom! It shows every synergy you could want. You can even hit the similar cards button to instantly find related effects. Big thanks to Card Mystic for sponsoring this video. Now back to the build. Secret Rendezvous and Cut a Deal get you what you need, but your opponents get a taste as well. With a little table talk though, that can work in your favour to keep you in the game longer than expected. Teo, Geometric Tactician, draws for you and a friend on his +1, as do Your Temple is Under Attack and Love Song of Night and Day. Truce and its sibling Temporary Truce, however, refills everyone's hands, giving you allies all across the table. On top of that, we've got some modern group hug staples in cards like Master of Ceremonies, Farsight Adept, Flumph, and Loran of the Third Path, that all keep peace while keeping you stocked. If you want to lean all in on the friendliness, you've got the classics: Howling Mine, Font of Mythos, Temple Bell, and Howling Golem. They keep everyone drawing cards and rarely paint a target on your back, at least until E-Honda turns all that generosity into damage to the face. Of course, 6 mana is a long wait, even with the friendliest of group hugs. So while we're waiting for our Sumo Superstar to hit the board, why don't we make all of our opponents regret holding all those cards? Scrawling Crawler will give your opponents a card each turn, but punish them for drawing, and Viceling, Ebony Owl Netsuke, and Black Vice all punish players for keeping fat hands, perfect when we're the reason that they have them. And since we'll be drawing plenty ourselves, Psychosis Crawler joins the lineup to drain life every time we pick up another card. Speaking of drawing cards, we're not so generous that every single card has to help out our opponents as well. Endless Atlas, War Room, and Dawn of a New Age keep the focus squarely on us, drawing cards and bulking up our own hand. Chivalric Alliance rewards us for attacking with 2 or more creatures, while Mask of Memory and Rogue's Gloves give us a steady stream of cards whenever we connect in combat. And hey, if our opponents want to play Magic too, we might as well profit from it. Esper Sentinel, Smuggler's Share, and Trouble in Pairs all tax or benefit from their actions, and Wedding Ring bonds us with another player for a shared stream of card draw. Who says love is dead? But drawing cards isn't the only way to get cards into our hand. You see, both Landtax and our Chaomancer's map fetch lands directly from our library and put them into our hand, padding our grip without having to draw. You see, E-Honda doesn't care how the cards actually get into your hand, just as long as they're there.
Probably best to make sure we don't end up having to get rid of some of these cards in our cleanup step. Spellbook, Venser's Journal, Decanter of Endless Water, and Reliquary Tower all ensure we have no maximum hand size, letting us keep every card we draw in our hand.
And that's the real key. Every extra card in your hand equals extra power. And once E-Honda hits the table and starts attacking, you'll turn that massive grip into a tsunami of damage. But maybe you're like me and you've got PTSD from being slapped too many times in Street Fighter 2. And if that's the case, then why don't you try out this alternative commander?
Kiyomaru First to Stand is a legendary spirit from Saviors of Kamigawa whose power and toughness are both equal to the number of cards in your hand. If you're lucky enough to have 4 or more, Kiyomaru gains Vigilance, and if your hand's full, you'll gain 7 life every single time it deals damage.
Ultimately, whether you decide to run E-Honda or the Kamigawan Spirit, you'll be in safe hands, pardon the pun, and with that you'll have everything you need to pummel your opponents or E-Honda into the dust. But before you go, I've got a few final pieces to round off the strategy.
Mass Calcify may not be the most efficient board wipe, but it's a fun and favourable way to keep your field intact while everyone else's creatures take the express route to the graveyard. Of course, if you'd rather be practical than dramatic, you can always run a classic Wrath of God instead. Since we'll be drawing so many cards, Approach of the Second Sun makes for a brilliant alternative win condition. You'll dig through your deck fast enough to line up both casts in no time. And if you just want more punch, Stone Skin and Bar the Door boost your team's toughness, turning every wall into a battering ram. For even more brute force, Sword of War and Peace and Hand of Vecna scale their damage with your hand size, and by this point, yours should be absolutely enormous.
So there you have it. After all of that research, I think I finally understand E-Honda's secret. It's not about technique. It's not about reflexes. It's about having massive hands. If you like this deck, leave a like. If you've got any ideas for this deck or any others, please leave a comment. And if you really liked it, do subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.